Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and welcome back to another video from the Roanoke Valley Chess Club. And we're going to be covering a game from the past, a great game from the past. And this is I believe this was game 16 of the fourth McDonnell La Bourddonais match, which it was actually a series of six matches, but most people will consider them one big giant match. It had about 85 games, and La Bourdonnais was a clear winner of that. And you can read up some background on that at some later date, but for right now, we're going to be covering this game, which is, I think, probably the most memorable of the McDonnell La Bourddonais games. And we'll go ahead and get started. And yes, this is the Great Games of the Past series that I'm doing. And it started e4, c5. Very rare in 1834 to see a Sicilian. Knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd, knight d4. This is all still theory today. E5. This is not. Typically, I actually think knight takes c6 is a bad move here. You need to play here. New variation. And black is effectively compelled to play d6. And you'd be surprised at how many players with the black pieces will not and concede a positional advantage to white after this variation. Right. And yeah, this is not good. Now, admittedly, you can try to do things to limit that, but at the end of the day, white still maintains an edge, if I remember everything correctly. But yeah, white's going to have an edge. Black's never really going to be able to get the d4 square, so yeah. But d6 is, basically compelled, I feel. And after here, a lot of players will go here. And after this, we get a transposition to the mainline Sveshnikov, right? And yeah, so instead, McDonnell played knight takes c6, b takes c6. This is, if a grandmaster found himself in this position today, he would take towards the center. Because you're preparing to play d5. Bishop c4, trying to clamp down, though maybe more accurate is c4, which, as we all know, is explosive. And the whole point is you're clamping down on this d5 break, because now you take back with a pawn. And after all the exchanges, white's going to have a good pawn on d5. Which can be supported with a knight, with the bishop, and a rook, and white just has a positional edge. Anyway, knight c6, bc6, bishop c4 was played, knight f6. This is still a good move, don't get me wrong. This is still a good move. And it prepares d5 further. Bishop g5, bishop e7. Yeah, fairly normal. Queen e2. I wouldn't have played that. I would play either knight c3 or castles. But okay, queen e2, it's not the worst move you could play, so I'll give it a pass, but it allows d5, basically. Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, bishop e3, castles, which is correct. Castles, yeah, I would agree with that. a5, we're just trying to trap the bishop, so takes, and rook there. Now the bishop isn't trapped, so you play d4. And those pawns are extremely mobile, and black is the one playing for the win here, because white's development is cramped, and white's entire position is actually cramped. There's not many good breaks. f4 just loses a pawn for nothing and opens up the e-file for black, which you don't want to do. And black has the two bishops, and I like those two bishops. Those are two good bishops, especially bishop b7, bishop a6. You could even consider playing like bishop f5 here to g6. c4, Okay, hoping maybe take on passant, but that's not going to happen. Queen b6, correct. Yeah, I would have considered bishop a6 to pin that pawn, but okay, queen b6 is also a good move. Bishop c2, bishop b7. Yeah, that's good. Knight d2. I mean, okay, sure. Going for knight e4. Yep, knight e4. You don't want to trade that, so you just play your bishop back because you've got two bishops, and your bishops are going to be so much better than the bishop and knight. Plus, you definitely don't want to get rid of the dark square bishop because it doesn't have a counterpart. Also, b2 is hanging, but I don't think that's too much of a problem. Yeah, okay, you play queen there. I would have considered taking, but that's bad. Taking on c5. Sorry, no, you definitely don't want to take on b2. You can't take on c5 because the knight's protecting it. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to say that. But yeah, queen b2, but that's bad because of rook b1. F3. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was necessary. Normally, you don't want to play a move like that, which just weakens your structure. But let's make a nothing move, or let's even do better. Let's get him to bind pawn. The reason why you don't want to play that is now you lose a knight because the knight is pinned to g2 because here and mate. So you lose the knight. Though maybe you can try and pick up a tempo like this, and after king here, I mean, you're still going to lose the knight, but at least you've tried to do something, right? So, yeah. F3 was necessary. Bishop there. F5. And actually, I really like the way La Bourddonais is playing this. He's playing this in a way a good player, a player of today would play. A lot of people, I actually consider La Bourddonais the first true world champion. Simply because not only was he the strongest, but most people today consider this a world championship match, and yeah, and he actually played like it for the most part. Though, obviously, from a modern perspective, this is not the highest quality match. Yeah, bishop a4. It's a decent move, and you lose an exchange, but. And this is where things get really crazy. Okay, so you're losing an exchange, and then c6, and then takes, and you would think, okay, why can't you take this bishop? And, well, the answer is fairly simple, I would hope. And the reason why you can't take that is because check. And you don't want to go to the F file because all of the reasons. So you go here and then check, and then check, and then check. Or do we want to play... No, I think we do need to play check here. Maybe we don't need to check there. Maybe instead the check we want is here. And then we go here. Threatening, of course, mate, and white, I think that's the only defense. And then we check, and then we mate. Something like that. But you definitely don't want to allow black to have this attack. So rook c2, it's correct. Queen there, correct. Bishop there, correct. Bishop there, you don't want to trade it. You want to try and push the pawn. Rook defends promotion because you have to, otherwise it's mate. Yeah, that's a move. It's an interference because otherwise rook to e2 is really dangerous. Or actually it'd be queen to e2, so that's why you don't just drop your queen here, is because of queen here. And Yeah, you're not in a good way. I mean, I still think it wins because after d3, uh, well, you take with the rook. And this is where things get really weird. I think you take. Yeah, it's lost, but so maybe it's just here. No, that still mates. I, I don't think it actually matters, but okay, d3 was played. Maybe there's actually a defense that I'm just not. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, you can't do this because here. No, it still wins. Okay. Okay. So it really doesn't matter, but d3. Okay. Queen e1. Yeah. I think at this point, La Bourddonais was just having fun. And here, McDonnell resigned, which is another rarity for the 1800s. But yeah, I honestly don't think it was necessary to push your pawns to get this position. But it's certainly unique and it's certainly fun. And I think La Bourddonais deserves credit for finding the prettiest win. Not necessarily the fastest win, but the prettiest. Um, it, and it's just amazing how he had a positional edge for the entire game, and really McDonnell was just gave it to him, which is really kind of strange because La Bourddonais had better ending technique throughout this match from what I've read and from the games I've seen. His endings were better, but La Bourddonais also played worse in the opening. Yet here he is having a better game throughout because his opponent played such a horrible opening and just played a really bad middle game. And like I said, I think this is actually lost here for white at this point, and you can just play Queen e1 and forget about it. Or maybe it's Rook here. And now you can't play this because the threat gets renewed. And yeah, okay, that was the line. It was Rook d1. Yeah, so you had to play d3. And I think Rook d1 actually needs to get played here. A variation, and then here. And then you play Queen here, and you're going to be winning here shortly because after this, we can actually sacrifice this bishop because I don't think you can actually take that. Oh, you have to be careful. Take. I think we take like this. Okay. No, it reaches the same position. Okay. So that's one defense that you could have. So maybe we need to play this now. No, that doesn't stop that. So I guess we do this. But it's going to be difficult to actually finalize this win. Well, I obviously also in the main variation. I was trying to find a pretty way to do it. D3, Rook CC1, there, Queen E1. I mean, obvious move is obvious. I was just trying to find a pretty move. Because this clearly wins, and it really doesn't matter what you do. You just play Queen E1 again, and you're going to take one of those rooks, and it's almost certainly going to be... actually, you don't want to take the rook just yet. You just want to push this pawn. Because this pawn, it doesn't matter. Put push there, and then here to try and get this rook to undefend. And you can't take any of that, so you have to drop your bishop back, and yeah, that's all she wrote. That's just a simple way to explain why I was just looking for a pretty variation that didn't trade queens and then win in a boring way. I was trying to play in the style of the time. So, yeah. But this is, of course, one of the famous positions in chess. Basically, down a queen for a bishop, and you've got 3 connected pass pawns on the 7th. I mean, that's why I wanted to show this game, because, come on, this is brilliant. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Take it easy. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.